Okay, well, this video I want to share to all of you about how to make a commercial building in SketchUp. This is about a commercial building with a combination plan. Okay, first of all, we have to set the basic plane. Again, using the rotated rectangle, you can click from this position. Okay, then we can set the dimension with any dimension. Maybe it's around 20 meter, and for the height of this building, it's around 16 meter. Then we can triple click, right click, and make group. Okay, well, we can select a move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this another position. Then we can select a rotate. You can select a rotate and rotate this another plane. You can rotate this another plane around 45 degree. Okay, well, now we can select a move. We can select a move and press from this corner to this corner. Okay, well, now we can get this combination plane. This is the straight and this is the rotated plane. So we can select all this plane, then we can right click and explode. Then we can erase some unnecessary line or additional in here. So we can get this whole plane like this. Then we can push it up around 1 meter. Okay, this thickness is include structural beam and ceiling and some mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for the real. And then you can also discuss with your structural engineer, architect, or any engineer for make the detail of this thickness of this every single slab. Okay, so we can triple click, right click, make group, and then we can select move. We have to right click and make component first, then create. Then we can select a move, press Ctrl, then place to this position. Then we can push move it to the upper position around 3.5 meter. Okay, well, now we can select a move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this position, and then we can we can make this 1 2 3 4 5. We can make the 5 floor anyway. Okay, well, now we can make this facade in this second floor, third floor, and fourth floor with using vertical frame. For the detail facade, we can select the rotated rectangle, and we can click to this from this corner. Then we can set this white with any white of this vertical frame. Then we can place to this position. Okay, well, now we can push. Select a push and push it to the front around 200 millimeter or 20 centimeter. Then we can right click and make component. We can right click, make component, and create. So then we can select the metal. We can click this aluminum. Okay, so we have been make this component. Now we can select move, press Ctrl, click from this corner, then we can place to this another intersection. We can click to this another intersection, for example in this position. Then we can type 10 slash enter. Okay, so we can see about the distance between the vertical frame with each other frame. Okay, this is 1.6 meter for the height or for the distance about the every single vertical frame, but we have to repeat it. Okay, we can select a move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this position. Then we can type 15 slash enter. Okay, so we can get the distance about every single frame is around 1.1 meter. I mean, it was makes sense distance between the vertical frame to be a facade of this whole building. Then we can select a move. From this vertical frame, we can click, and then we can move to this appropriate position. We can rotate it manually. Okay, then we can move to this another position. Okay, then we can select move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this corner. Then we can type 10 slash and enter. We have to check the distance first. Okay, we have to repeat it again. We can select move, press Ctrl, then place to this position. Then we can type maybe 14 slash enter. Okay, now we can see about the distance for every single. We have to add again, select move, place to this position, and then we can type 15 slash meter. Okay, well, now we can get this the front area. Now we can make the another side of this building. We can make this another side of this commercial building exterior frame. Then we can select rotate. We can click this rotate, click from this point, press Ctrl. Okay, then we can type 90 degree, enter. Okay, then we can select a move, place to this position. Then we can select a move, press Ctrl. Then we can click to this position. Then we can type 10 slash enter. Okay, I mean it was too far for the distance between every single vertical frame. Then we have to move again in here in this position. Then we can type 15 slash enter. Okay, so we can see about the distance for every single vertical frame. It's about 1.1 meter. Then okay, then we can continue to make the another frame position. We can click this vertical frame. We can select it all for this vertical frame. And we can we have to select it all. Okay, we can right click and make group. So then we can select a move. We can use move tool, click from this point, then we can click to this another position. We can click to this position and we can rotate by following the orientation of this facade building. Okay, well, now we can adjust just a little bit. Okay, I mean it was enough. Okay, well, now we can only make this another frame in here. We can select move, press Ctrl. We can place to this position. Okay, then we can rotate it. Okay, now we can get the orientation just like this. We can select it some for every single vertical frame. Then we can select move, press Ctrl. Then we can place to this position. Okay, well, now we can move to the another position. Okay, we can adjust it manually. Then now we can select this. We have to select this vertical frame. We can select a move, press Ctrl. Then we can place to this position. Okay, then we can rotate it. We can rotate it manually, just like this. And now we can adjust for the distance. Okay, well, I mean it was a great combination. Then now we can make the another structural system. We can using rectangle. We can using a rectangle here with any position. We can type the dimension of the structural around 800 and 800. Okay, well, this is 800 and 800 for the dimension of the column. Then we can push it down. Okay, then we can triple click, right click and make group. Okay, well, now we can adjust for this position. We can place to this position. We can right click and make component and create. So we can select move, press Ctrl. Then we can place to this. We can drag the distance around 8 meter. Okay, well, now we can move it to the center approximately. So this is about the cantilever. We have to move it again, and we can move it to this position around 3.5. Okay, then we can click and move it to the another position around 3.5 meter. Okay, well, now we can click. Oh, I mean it was very complicated for this column system, so I will make the another symbol. Okay, well, now we can make group. Okay, now we can select a move, press Ctrl, then we can place this in another position, click, then we can type 2 slash and enter. Okay, well, now we can select a move. Okay, we can rotate it by following the building orientation in this position. Okay, well, now we can select a move, press Ctrl, then we can click to this another position, then we can type 2 slash enter. Okay, well, now we can move again to this position. Okay, then we can select a move again to this another position. Well, oh, I'm sorry, we have to make sure that it's only the one connection here. Okay, now we can adjust the column in here. Okay, we can adjust the column. Well, approximately the column is just like this for the configuration. Now we can push it up, the every single vertical frame to the upper position around 1.5 meter. And then, well, now we can make the another surfaces building area in here. Okay, then we can select the plane and we can push it up around 3.5 meter. Okay, well, now we can triple click, right click and make group, then we can push it down to this position. Okay, well, now we can adjust for, I'm sorry, I mean it's enough. Okay, now we can adjust for the horizontal frame. We can adjust for the horizontal frame. We can triple click for this. We can make it unique first. We can triple click and offset it outside, place it this position, then we can click this plane and we can edit, cut, and we can edit and paste in place. Then we can select move, then place to this position, then we can push it down around 60 millimeter approximately. Okay, well, we can triple click, right click and make group and click to this point. Okay, just wait for the wait a minute. I just keep silent because it getting pre indicator. Okay, well, I will continue this 3D modeling session. I've already set the exterior outdoor frame and the glazing, and I have already made the glazing on the ground floor here, and on the progress I just set this stair and entrance or hallway of this building. So I will continue it to make the another stair step here. I will continue it, and I just set the height of this optrate is around 150 millimeter, and this step is around 400 millimeter. Okay, well, I will continue it. Then we can click all this line. We can click all this line, and then we can select edit copy. Okay, then we can edit paste in place. We can offset it outside around 400 millimeter. Okay, then we can click to this position. Then we can close this polyline. Then we can push it down. Okay, then we can push it down around 150 millimeter. Triple click and make group. Then we can click this line. Okay, we can click this line. Okay, then we can edit, copy, and exit from the group. And again, we can edit, paste in place. Then we can offset it outside around 400 millimeter. Then we can close this polyline. We can close this polyline also. We can push it down. Then we can push it down around 150 millimeter. Triple click and make group. Then we can click this polyline, this outline. Okay, then we can edit, copy. Then we can exit, edit, paste in place. We can offset it outside around 400 millimeter. Then we can close this polyline again. Okay, then we can push it down. Then we can push it down around 150 millimeter. Triple click, make group, and I just continue it. I will continue it. Click this polyline. Then we can edit, copy, and exit from the group. Then we can paste in place. Then we can offset it outside around 400 millimeter, and then we can close this polyline. We can push it down around 150 millimeter. Okay, we can make group, and then we can now we can make the another element. We can make the another element in here. Can make group, and we can also make the entrance action. We can make the entrance action here. Okay, then we can push it to the front. Okay, well, now we can edit the entrance action here. Okay, we can make group, and we can also make the canopy here. Now we have to adjust this facade building. We have to push it up until this position. Okay, then we can push it up. Okay, then we can move it up till this position. Okay, now we can make the canopy. We can draw the line again here. We can draw the line, and we can draw the line. Okay, then we can offset it outside around. We can offset it outside around 3.5 meter. Okay, well, now we can click this line, and we can close this line. We can push it to the front. We can push it to the upper position. Make group. Okay, and then this is about the canopy. And I mean, we have to make the another column system here. We have to make the another column system here, and we can push it to the front. Triple click, make group. Okay, we can right click, make component, create. Then we can select move, press Ctrl, place this position, then we can type 3/enter. Okay, well, now we can select move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this position, then we can rotate it. Then we can select move, press Ctrl, then we can place to this position, then we can type 3/enter. Okay, well, now we can extend this canopy. We can offset it outside. We can push it down. Okay, till this position. Okay, now we can also make the another design with landscape with this position. We can move it down, triple click my group, and then we can set the landscaping here. Click the grass and just select a move, press Ctrl, then we can place this position, then we can rotate it. Okay, now we can make the another landscaping element here. Maybe we can make the circle here for landscaping element. Okay, well, now we can make the another landscaping element here. We can make the another landscaping element in this position also. Okay, well, now we can add the component. We can add the component with using component tool. We can using component sampler. We can using the tree. We can place the tree here, then we can set the glass of the tree here. Okay, now we can move it to this another appropriate position. Okay, well, maybe we can just delete this one. Okay, so we can just only make this central garden. We can select move, we can explode this one, we can explode again. Okay, then we can make group. Okay, can select a move, place to this position. We can place this position and okay, well, okay, now we can make the variation of this building design. We can make the facade variation. We can draw the rectangle here. We can draw the rectangle here. Then we can push it up, and we can make the another variation. Okay, well, and then we can also rotate and type 90 degree. Okay, just like this, and we can add more material. We can using the concrete material or metal material. It's depend on you. Okay, maybe just like this. Okay, we can camouflage it. Okay, then we can make the another silhouette people here. Okay, then we can make the entrance signage over there to make it more visible. Well, now we can set the orange position. Okay, okay, so you can adjust for this another facade building. You can adjust this one. Maybe we can adjust it to make it more flexible, just like this. And you can, okay, just like this. You can make it more monumental and make it more attractive anyway. Okay, maybe this one and maybe this one. Okay, I will set the style. I will set the style to make it more highlighted. Okay, and then I will adjust the style. Okay, wait. Then I will set the shadow here. Okay, I will set the another material of the landscape to make it more visible. Okay. Okay, thanks for watching, and just wait for my next tutorial. You can learn for this 3D model to improve this one. You can improve the landscape, you can improve the structural system, facade system. This is just simple 3D model presentation, so you can develop it to be better by your version anyway. Okay, thanks for watching. Just wait for my next video. Thank you.